So this is a bit of an ambitious video. I'm just going to start it off that way, like how to get a perfect answer on any exam question. Obviously, quite a catchy title. Maybe you're thinking, it's not possible to do that in one single video. But I would actually challenge you, and I would say that personally, I'm a massive perfectionist, and I always work crazy hard until I'm almost or completely perfect at something, including getting really high exam grades. I didn't quite get perfect GCSE grades. I got 9 A stars and 3 A's, but I was quite tired at the time. But yeah, I got first at my uni and so on. So it gives you an idea of no matter what subject or what level, there is actually a process that you can use that will maybe not get you exactly full marks, but it will get you very close to it and the highest possible grade that you deserve. So this video is just about that really. How do you get the highest grade? How do you achieve your full potential? And how do you kind of use your time and your revision and all of your work and your effort? How do you put that properly into an exam paper that reflects how much you've tried? So the first thing that I'm going to say is mark schemes. Every exam that you take, regardless of what level it is, what subject, is going to have a mark scheme. If you can understand the coding, they're written in pretty weird coding, but if you can kind of decode and understand the mark scheme, then you understand exactly what they're looking for, and you're going to have a much higher chance of actually achieving that in your answer. So if you're the type of person who tries really hard, does loads of work, but you're scared of exams, this is probably a little bit of a shortcoming in your ambitions to get a perfect mark grade or a full, a high answer on your paper. I was totally that person. So I did loads of work, but I was terrified of exams. So I kind of ignored those. And yeah, I did pretty well still. But now that I teach, I realize, it's so much easier if you start from the exam and work backwards. Don't just learn loads of stuff and then hope that it comes across, because that's not gonna get you to a point where you want to be as easily. If you're kind of lazy and you just want to get a high grade as quick as possible, again, start from the mark scheme, start from the exam, work backwards. That's the most efficient way. It's a good use of your time to do that. So every mark scheme that you have, it has bands, it has levels, and it'll tell you in the lower levels, like say, 0 to 5 out of 30, don't just ignore that and be like, oh, I'm never going to get 5 out of 30. I'm like already at a high level. Think about what is someone doing at that level that makes them go so low on the exam. So the kind of like lower bands, I use those as an example of what not to do. So the way that they describe what a student at that level is doing, that becomes a checklist for not things that you don't want to do. So if it says stuff like being general or not showing enough knowledge, it shows that you need to be specific and you need to have detailed knowledge. So it kind of, if you do the opposite of what those lower bands say, that helps you achieve what those higher bands want. And then, if you work alongside the mark schemes, you understand what they say, make sure you also understand what that looks like in an exam answer. To do that, you need access to loads of past papers and example answers. So you can use your own past papers. Normally, if you're like me and you get a grade back and you're not that happy with the grade, you just want to burn it and forget that it ever happened and just move on with your life. That's not actually a good thing to do. The best thing to do, which is brutal and it's painful, but it works, is go through every single thing that you did right in that answer. Give yourself a pat on the back. Also go through everything that you didn't do right. So every time your teacher kind of commented or said, and not analyze here or expand there, or this isn't correct context, or this isn't whatever. Make a checklist, like a feedback list. I have a physical page of essay feedback that I've received over the years from every time I wrote an essay. And eventually it becomes a list of things that you do really well that you always want to make sure you're doing in every single essay, and things you really don't want to do. This is for essay questions, but it works for any kind of question on any exam because you'll always get feedback. So for example, if you have a multiple choice answer question and you answered that wrong, think about your thought process. Why did you get that conclusion and why was that conclusion wrong? what was the correct thought process. So sometimes I teach like Cambridge entrance exams for psychology and all kinds of weird exams that are not English based, and this process just works for every single exam regardless of subject level, like I said at the beginning. So look at your past papers and your past results. If you don't have any, do some and get some feedback. That's really important. The more you practice, the easier it gets, the more sensitive you are to your grade and your mark. So look at your past paper feedback and make a checklist of positives and negatives. You need both. If you're really harsh on yourself, that's not going to work either. You'll just be mean, unnecessarily mean. There will be stuff that you did amazingly well. Make sure that you acknowledge that. And there will be stuff that you could have done better. So don't think you're just perfect and brilliant, because we always have to learn. Once you've got that balanced approach, so that's kind of being self-critical. Once you're aware of yourself, what level you're at, understand that we can always improve. We can always improve and improve. So we can always get better. It doesn't matter where your starting point is. I've had students go from a D grade to the highest grade in their whole school within like 3 months, because they did loads of work, they had loads of feedback from me, they sort of started to click with what they were doing well and what wasn't working so well. So it's the fastest way to improve, and you can just see crazy good results very, very quickly if you use this process. So once you've done that, the only other thing you need to do is also look at other people. Ask your friends for their papers, read through them, swap, share. Ask your teacher for example answers that are really high level, and go through those answers with a fine-tooth comb. Be like, okay, she does this. I've never done that before. I'm going to try that in my new essays. She uses this phrase. This is amazing. Or he does this thing and I can see why that's not working, but this other stuff is way better than what I can do right now. So I'm going to copy all that, and I'm going to remember not to do this bit here that didn't work so well. So if you can be self-critical and you can be critical of other people, and you can understand your mark schemes, you pretty much can just get a full mark grade on any question in any answer on any paper, I believe anyway. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you and you believe me too, and you're looking forward, you're kind of motivated and you're wanting to go and self-improve.